Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news of this evening, man arrested after weapons are found in luggage at the Seizure airport. A commercial driver was on Friday arrested after he was allegedly caught with prohibited weapons hidden in his luggage at the Seizure International Airport. The man, who arrived at the airport in Montego Bay from Florida, was arrested after allegedly being intercepted by operatives of the Jamaica Customs Agency and the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division with the prohibited items hidden in his luggage. The prohibited items reportedly include 3 assembled handguns, multiple components, and 200 rounds of .357 Magnum ammunition. The seizure also included items that are being investigated as the Glock switches auto sears, the police said. He was subsequently arrested and taken into police custody pending multiple charges. 4 arrested following major drug bust in St. Ann and Kingston over weekend. 4 people have been arrested in connection with 2 major drug busts on Saturday in St. Ann and Kingston. The first incident occurred on Saturday on Prairie Main Road in St. Ann when an Isuzu motor truck was intercepted with 110 knitted bags containing 1,530 packages of ganja weighing approximately 3,000. A quantity of hashish and cocaine were also seized, with the cocaine weighing approximately 27 kilograms. 2 suspects, one of a St. Ann address and a Bahamian, were taken into custody. Later that day, in a separate incident, on Pretoria Road in Kingston, 50 carton boxes containing 344 parcels of compressed ganja, weighing approximately 902 pounds, were seized during a joint operation carried out by the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division and the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Branch. Approximately $879,750 in cash was also seized. 2 suspects were also arrested in connection with that seizure, noting that the successful seizures and arrests made over the weekend serve as a warning to those involved in the illicit drug and firearms trade. Head of the FNID, Senior Superintendent of Police Samuel Blake, said, as part of our ongoing efforts to keep our communities safe, we will continue to take a zero-tolerance approach to drug trafficking and related crimes. Man freed of ammo charges after cop admits dishonesty. A man was on Monday freed of ammunition charges after his lawyers, King's Counsel Peter Champagny and Samoy Campbell, invited the judge to stop the case against their client on the basis that the sole witness admitted to being dishonest. Nico Hines, a 25-year-old laborer of Grand Pen in St. Andrew, was charged by the police for being in possession and stockpiling 51 rounds of ammunition. According to the police who charged him, the discovery of the ammunition was made in the ceiling of Hines' bedroom on April 3, 2024, following a raid. In giving evidence in the gun court on Monday, the police also claimed that a magazine casing was also found in another part of the ceiling of Hines' room after an additional search was conducted. Under cross-examination, however, Champagny confronted the police with the station diary entries that were made by the said police, making reference to the find of the magazine casing in the tenement yard of Hines near a fall coop. In another diary entry, it was noted that the magazine was found buried in the yard. When pressed by Champagny as to whether what he wrote and signed to in the station diaries were true, the police stated that they were untrue, but that he was forced by another police to do it. When asked further by Champagny if he would agree that knowingly making a false entry in station diary was dishonest, he admitted that it was dishonest. Hines had denied having anything illegal in his room and claimed that the police made the discovery of the ammunition and the magazine buried in the tenement yard and that he did not know of their existence. In bringing the case to a halt, the trial judge, Justice Vaughn Smith, noted that the police's evidence at the end of cross-examination was left in tatters and it was an embarrassing moment for the honest members of the GCF. If found guilty based on the new firearms law, Hines would have been facing 15 to 20 years in prison. He had been in custody a few months before being offered bail. British Jamaican woman found dead in Westmoreland, husband being sought. The Westmoreland police are searching for the husband of a British Jamaican woman who was on Monday found dead 9 days after she landed in Jamaica for an annual vacation. The body of 64-year-old Donetta Anderson was found in a shallow grave in Petersfield, Westmoreland on Monday night. The news was informed that crime scene investigators used the clothing in which Miss Anderson was last seen to positively identify the remains. They returned to the location on Tuesday to continue their investigations and have the body removed. Her sister, May Sinanon, described Miss Anderson as a kind, caring, loving and jovial person, adding that the family is devastated by her death. Miss Anderson's husband of 9 months, 37-year-old Andre Morrison, is being sought by the police as he was the last person seen with her. Superintendent Othniel Dobson, commanding officer for the Westmoreland Police, has reportedly said Morrison has a history with law enforcement and is being sought by the police in multiple divisions. According to the Sun newspaper, Miss Anderson, a fashion retailer from southwest London, fell for the builder when he worked on her Jamaican home in Roaring River. It is reported that the mother of 3, grandmother and great-grandmother, flew to the island on November 24 to stay overnight at a hotel with her husband in Montego Bay. Her husband later called her family on the same day to inform that she was missing. Morrison claimed that he left her at a location in Negril, and when he returned to pick her up, she was not seen. He also claimed that he had filed a missing persons report at the Negril police station, but checks by Miss Anderson's family with the police disproved that claim. She was subsequently reported missing by her sister on November 27. Miss Anderson had been living in the United Kingdom since age 7. Opposition wants a government to use tourism earnings to develop resort towns. Opposition spokesperson on tourism, Senator Janice Allen, is blaming the derelict state of tourism towns on the failure of the government to reinvest more of the earnings from the sector. Ms. Allen says Oterios, Negril, Port Antonio, Montego Bay are in need of major upgrade so people can see and feel the impact of tourism. She highlighted Montego Bay, which she says has broken sidewalks and dirty streets.
If we take Jimmy Cliff Boulevard, for example, which is supposed, it was previously called the Hip Strip, and when it was designed on Gloucester Avenue, when it was designed, it was intended to be a place where visitors and Jamaicans alike could see and experience all sorts of entertainment or shopping or food experiences. But right now, it has not been developed over the years in an organized, modern, fit-for-purpose type of way. Whether it be sidewalks or hanging like cable wires and just dereliction. So if, for example, there is a greater demand for more restaurants and entertainment opportunities outside of traditional tourism hotels or tourism establishments like hotels, then that will lead for more businesses to be developed, whether a new restaurant here or a new entertainment space there. And then the partnership between private and public sector to ensure that we uplift the spaces that we're operating in is where we would want to get to. So I believe greater collaboration between public and private. We have many experiences of those across the country, and that what we want to see, for example, in the tourism towns, is for the Ministry of Tourism and the agencies under the tourism to lead that effort along with the municipalities to ensure that there is reduce the decay. Because if you don't feel good about where you are, if people are not seeing and feeling good about where they are, they're not going to treat it well. If you don't treat a person well, they're not going to reciprocate with good treatment. So that is what I want us to do, treat our spaces well. Yes, we have had, like, for example, the Harmony Beach Park development in Montego Bay, and whilst that is good, and I will celebrate that, it's not sufficient. But there's more to be done.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.